Hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. Indycar 2024 ended with Alex Palou as a three-time champion, but there were a lot of ups and downs for most of the field, and some big names didn't have the year they maybe thought they should have. So let's go through the entire 2024 Indycar field and sort them into a tier list, with S being the best and F being the worst, based on previous performances as well as how they did in 2024. Who were the top drivers and who were the absolute worst? We have a long list of drivers to get through. 43 drivers took part in IndyCar in 2024, most of them for Dale Coyne. So let's go team by team and see how they did. Make sure you subscribe and let's jump into the video. AJ Foyt. We will be going in alphabetical order for the teams and then whatever order I feel like for the drivers. Starting with the Foyt team, and Santino Ferrucci is going straight into the A category for having the best season for an AJ Foyt driver since Ayrton Dari in 2002. 9th overall, but what was really impressive was how many top 10 finishes Ferrucci managed. No podiums, but still an amazing year for Santino Ferrucci. As for his teammate Stingray Robb, nothing amazing, but it was a slight improvement on last year, and he did crash less, but still a best 9th at Gateway. His only top 10 finish of the year, he needs to do more improving. It's an E. Andretti. 4 drivers for Andretti, starting with Marco Andretti, who made his annual Indy 500 appearance, and so that is the only race I can judge him on. It was one of his worst, so F. As for the full-time drivers, I was disappointed we didn't see a win for Carl Kirkwood in 2024, but a 7th overall is a good finish, and it was a good season. Good enough for a B. Marcus Ericsson also did not win a race in his first season for Andretti. This was also his worst year since he debuted in the series in 2019. It's an F for the Swede. Finally, Colton Herta. What a season it turned out to be. It didn't start great, it was pretty meh for the first half, but he came alive in the second half of the year, taking 2 wins and ending up second in the championship. A massive improvement of fortunes, and good enough to be put in the S rank, because it was almost unbelievable to see him that high in the championship. A better start to the year, and he would have been champion. Arrow McLaren. David Malukas was meant to drive for the team, but he missed the start of the year with an injury, and so we had a slew of replacements. We also had Carl Larson make his IndyCar debut in the Indy 500. Of course, he's used to ovals, but not in a single-seater, so even though he finished 18th, I'll give him a C, because it wasn't a bad go. I look forward to seeing what he can do in 2025. Callum Ilott was the first Malukas replacement. He only got to do a couple of races, and was steady in both, neither bad or good. Classic C. 2023 Formula 2 champion Teo Pucher has done some real damage to his career in 2024, to the point I haven't even seen him linked to the Sauber seat in Formula 1. He was pretty mediocre and got tangled up in a couple of incidents, so it has to be an E. And Nolan Siegel was the long-term replacement. He was okay in the Arrows McLaren, having already raced with Dale Coyne and John Coase Hollinger. He got his best result for McLaren, but it wasn't an amazing debut year. We'll go for a D. As for the 2 full-time drivers, Alexander Rossi has been slipping down the IndyCar field for years now, and his 2 seasons for McLaren did nothing to stop that slide. He finished runner-up in 2018 and 3rd in 2019. Since then, 9th, 10th, 9th, 9th and 10th. He has gone nowhere. E. And Golden Boy Pato O'Ward took 3 wins, but wasn't really in title contention at all this year. 5th overall ain't bad, but a C-grade year by his high standard. Chip Ganassi. Championship winning Alex Palou is an S, obviously. He has looked like a champion for a while now, and no one really got close to him by the end of the year. But for his vastly experienced and legendary teammate Scott Dixon, what an awful year. 6th overall doesn't sound bad until you realise he hasn't finished that low since 2016. And you have to go back to 2005 to find another season outside the top 5. It shows how incredible a career he has had, that finishing 6th overall with 2 wins is an F-grade season for the Aussie. As for the rest of the Ganassi bunch, Marcus Armstrong was okay, much improved on his first year and probably worthy of a C. Kyffin Simpson finished 12th in his debut race and then never bettered it, and I remember him crashing a lot. It's his debut season, but still an E. Linus Lundqvist was also competing in his first full season, and the 2022 Indy Lights champion put in a couple of great performances and was unlucky elsewhere. Overall, it wasn't great, only 16th, but he did have some real standout performances for a B. Dale Coyne. 9 drivers. 9 drivers raced for Dale Coyne in 2024. Nolan Siegel we've already covered with McLaren, but for everyone else, Most only did 1 or 2 races, so this is a quick fire round, I guess. Connor Daly I'll get to later in the list. Starting with GT racer Colin Braun, who made his debut. Absolutely nothing special. F. Tristan Vautier made his first appearance for 7 years and did nothing of note. F. Toby Sowery made a few appearances and was incredibly average. E. Hunter McElrea almost finished last in the championship. F. Luca Giotto is a mega talented Italian that slipped through the cracks of Formula 2. He made 4 appearances and didn't break the top 20. F. Catherine Legg did get in the top 20 a couple of times, but wasn't especially great. E. And finally, Jack Harvey. Nothing great, incredibly inconsistent in terms of appearances through the year, and he hasn't really done anything special. It's an E, but a really dull, disappointing one. All of Dale Coyne was basically terrible. DRR Kuzik Motorsports. I'm still not doing Connor Daly yet, but Ryan Hunter-Reay was entered into the Indy 500 and it didn't end well, but he was quick in qualifying, so a D is fair, I guess. Ed Carpenter Racing. Team boss Ed Carpenter always has a few goes a year himself, and in 2024 he did nothing in those appearances, so an E. As for the younger members of the team, Christian Rasmussen, the 2023 Indy NXT champion, did not have a great debut year, but he was second overall in the rookie standings, so that has to count for something. Let's call it a D. Whilst Rinus VK competed at his usual level, scoring decent points over the course of the year, but still not setting the world on fire. It's a C. Juncos Hollinger Racing. The most controversial team on the grid, and for all the wrong reasons. Connor Daly finally gets his moment here. This is the team he made the most appearances for in 2024. He made 7 appearances all year, and they would be worthy of a D grade. If not for that podium in Milwaukee, that elevates it to a C. His first podium since Detroit 2016. Agustin Canapino was not awful on the track. Off the track, his fans caused a stink by acting like uncivilized baboons, and it's ended with the Argentine dropping out of Indycar, and I doubt we'll see him back. I thought he did okay coming from a touring car background, but he was never on Scott McLaughlin's level. Just okay, but what's happened off the track has soured this man in my eyes. An F, as it was a career-ending year for Canapino. For Romain Grosjean, it wasn't much better, but there were bright moments, and he was often running in the top 10. It's nowhere near where a talent like Grosjean should be, but his first season with Juncos Hollinger was not as awful as I expected. B. Meyer Shank Racing. At the start of the year, Felix Rosenqvist was putting in S-rank performances, taking poles and constantly running at the front of races. It never really happened in the second half of the year, but for me, Rosenqvist was one of the standouts of the year. He slipped down from an S, obviously, but he was still good enough for a solid A. Still the best performance from a Meyer Shank ever. It was not so good for Tom Blomqvist, who did the first 5 races of 2024 for Meyer Shank, and was dropped as he was pretty rubbish. E. Whilst IndyCar legend Helio Castroneves, who took Meyer Shank's only IndyCar win in the Indy 500 a few years back, was hopeless in 3 appearances in 2024. Also an E. Finally, David Malukas, dropped by McLaren, turned up in the second half of the year for Meyer Shank, and he was solid, unspectacular, but with a couple of top 10s. Good enough for a C. Imagine if he did the full year for a McLaren. He might have even been a B. Rahal Letterman Lanigan Racing. Graham Rahal had his worst season since 2013, only 18th in the final standings and only just breaking the top 10 a few times all year. A steady F year if ever there was one. Christian Lundgaard was again the guiding light for this team, and the young Dane has got a move to McLaren for 2025. Not quite on the level of last year, but still a good year. It's a B. Pietro Fittipaldi has been spinning his wheels for a while now. His career seems to be going nowhere, from making 2 appearances in Formula 1 to struggling at the back in IndyCar. He's not really achieved much, and this was an awful year. An F year. We also had Takuma Sato and Yuri Vips making single appearances for the team. Sato did a good job at the Indy 500, 14th overall from the 2-time winner, so a C, whilst Vips made an appearance at Portland and quietly finished 19th. E. Team Penske. And finally we get to the ever-dominant Team Penske. Well, not ever-dominant, very successful Team Penske. Scott McLaughlin passed Will Parrott in the championship at the final race, finishing 3rd overall. Technically, he was in with the slimmest of chances of the championship at the final race. He's just getting better every year. This has to be an S. He was racing supercars just 4 years ago. Now he's a title challenger in IndyCar. Crazy. Not so crazy was Will Power being up there again. A good year. He'll be disappointed he dropped from 2nd in the championship at the final race and ended the year 4th. 3 wins, and he was the only one who took the fight to the final race. So it's a B. And our final driver is Indy 500 winner, Joseph Newgarden. Where do we put him on this tier list? I honestly don't know. This was his worst championship for a decade. Back then, he was racing for Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing, which doesn't even exist anymore. But you can't call it an F-grade year when he won the Indy 500. And he was still 8th in the championship. For most drivers, that would be a top year. If Stingray Rob did that, it would be a triple S year. But Newgarden is neither an F or an A, but it's not really mediocre enough to be a C either. I'll put him at D, just because by his high standards, he should do so much better. But it still wasn't really a bad year. If he does worse next year, it'll be an F year. So that's how every IndyCar driver in 2024 did in my eyes, all 43 of them. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree. What changes would you make to this list? More motorsport content incoming, so make sure you subscribe, and some member-only content incoming also. Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.